Alright. Baruch Heva Shalom, familia. I figure it's about time for another message, as I am a messenger, a mere messenger. I went to go put one up the other day. Just having some technical difficulties, dealing with various enemy attacks. Praise Yah through all things. If we let the whole experience, the various trials that we would go through, be blessings, as though they're unpleasant at the time, but the discipline, it works out a stronger character within us. The person I once was is dead. Praise Yah for that. And there's just so many. Everybody's out and about today. They're going. I don't know if they know where they're going. They're just going. They're just doing. Just engaging in folly. Which brings me to the point of the type of message I wanted to give. Because it's important. And I've said it to a lot of people, but I might as well just put it here. Because I've been asking this to others lately. It's a very important question. I've been asking myself too. If a whole lot of the enemy shenanigans in your life were suddenly no more, if the resistance wasn't there, if the delays, or the perceived delays, the perceived enemy attacks, if all that wasn't there, and you suddenly had stability and reprieve, relief, blessing, what would you do with it? What would you do with the time and peace? What would you accomplish? Because it's a very important question. People, myself included, could often find refining trials, enemy attacks, persecutions. They could find that frightening. Things like what I went through for months recently, homeless, covertly persecuted. At the start, yeah, it was frightening, sleeping out in the woods by myself, but praise Yah, I leveled up. So, surprisingly, another thing that you could find quite frightening, though, is a season of reprieve and blessing. The right attitude, say, is, well, I gotta do right with this. When it arrives, when you start to inherit the blessings, the assured expectations that you've hoped for, what are you going to do then? How prone might you be to going and engaging in folly and vanity in this world with some extra leisure time, with a surplus of blessing? What would be your inclination? Are you searching within, scrutinizing your own ways to cast down all of the idols that you might hold within your own heart? Because things like pride, doubt, and fear could be quite cunning within oneself. So what I wanted to talk about here is spiritual enabling, because I've been much more inclined to not really jump on the internet and get much of a message on there lately, because I like just going around proclaiming the truth to people I encounter, planting seeds, because I just get to see them like that, and then maybe I run into them and the seed grew. That part isn't up to me, I plant the seed, maybe somebody else waters, and then Abiyah makes it grow. It is a true blessing to run into receptive people here and there. In terms of online or even offline, though, there is such a thing as spiritual enabling. I don't have to do your studies for you. Imagine this reality, right? We have a lot of intercessors, people that pray for others, right? If you are a person that wants to, do right, and you weep and sigh and cry about the things going on in the world, right? And just imagine you pray for a person that you think has that same moral inclination, and yet they go and they engage in folly when they have the relief. After they've been interceded for, they go and engage in some sin. You know, they have their own Bibles, they have their own means of prayer. They, if they're earnest, could seek and find Yahushua while he may be found, and they could draw from the source themselves. I think what's going on a lot of the time is we have a lot of people that instead of drawing from the true source, they're going to draw from those that draw from the true source. So, I've been going through covert persecution, enemy attacks, online and off, right? And I've just been existing outside of it because, I really exist in the future, I focus on the things unseen. So if I was going to jump, out of, the hedge of protection spiritually and in the present that I have, right, then it would be something like, if there's a lot of people on a battlefield, right, and I happen to be one of the ones fit to be in a fighter jet, right, above that battlefield, right, fighting higher profile enemies, principalities, big jet fighters, right? And so I want to get so caught up to what the the rogue squadron and the clone troopers or whatever are going off about, on the ground. So I go and get petty and go and fly my plane down there, park it, hop out, and go to engage in petty conflict, with those who, haven't reached this particular phase of the spiritual warfare. They're too fixated on other people, not focusing on the internal world within themselves. And, I love being helpful. I love being encouraging and edifying. I love giving the message. It's what I've been called to do. But I ain't for spiritual enabling anymore. There comes a time to be aloof. Everybody still has access to the internet, so they can find various gleanings, right? I've been inclined, my wife and myself have been inclined to just enjoy each other and take a rest from the drama and the bonkers madhouse that the internet has become. And so, in terms of spiritual enabling, again with warfare and that, right? So, I exist here, right? That's not actually where I exist, right? It's the way I perceive it. I've been projected here, where I exist is actually already in the future, right? I've actually gone through, an internal exodus, and I see ahead. I focus on the things unseen above, right? So if I choose to help another, though, right? If I chose to, for the benefit of my suffering brothers and sisters, to go and help them in the trench warfare that they're in, because, I don't perceive myself as better than somebody going through that particular phase, but I am not to just go down there and hold your hand through the entire course of combat, right? Since I went through particular phases, I got to set an example. And so if we're in trench warfare and I take a leap of faith and go and get across the battlefield to the next trench to overtake that one, to conquer, not of my own strength, that particular phase of the warfare, right? I don't get to hold everybody's hand through that process, and I don't get to turn around once I've hopped out of the trench to take that leap of faith and storm the battlefield to go and pick your ass up, right? Because then if I do that, then I get shot in the back, So when there comes a time, you got to set the example. Others either follow, they take heed, they're able to be reasoned with or they're not. And it is what it is. Hopefully they catch up. You know, I gotta carry the glory. I gotta raise my vibration. There's certain things I gotta do, certain places I gotta be. And yeah, no hard feelings to ally or foe alike. You know, I am grateful for all those I've encountered, even the ones that are very difficult to deal with at times. So yeah, that's about it for today. I've been inclined to say is I often don't really go back to check a lot of what I have covered, because I want to share gleanings, right, for the few that'll receive it properly, and not just focus on the guy that's sharing these messages and how much they don't like him, how much they don't like the way he sounds, what they think about him, you know, because they've been very wrong. And yeah, I advise repentance as the kingdom draws near. And you know, it is near, it is at hand. We must have it within, with our true King, Yahushua HaMashiach, abiding within. Yahusha is master. And yeah, the real ones will be together in due time. So, Baruch Heva Shalom, familia. Abiyah bless. I hope to give some more messages in due time here. And yeah, catch y'all on the flip side, the right one.